G'day everyone, and welcome back to Apaya Puzzles, where today I'm going to take on the David Astle puzzle from The Age and the Sydney Morning Herald in Australia today. The DA as it's known, or Don't Attempt as the Twitter handle goes for David. These are known as Australia's most fiendish cryptics, so if you've never seen a cryptic before, this is not a great example of it's not a representative example of what cryptics are like. This is a very hard example. If you'd like to sit through and be bewildered, then I welcome you to. But also I have a bunch of other videos on the channel of much easier cryptics. So do know that this is not what you're having to get yourself into. This is not what you're in for if you're wanting to get into cryptics, at least not in the beginning. And for those of you who've been around cryptics for a while, you'll be well aware of DA and his shenanigans, and hopefully have had a go yourself today. And if there's any gaps, then hopefully I can help you fill them in. I'm hoping that I'll actually get through this today. I'm fairly tired, so I don't know if my brain's in the right space, and DA's difficulty can vary from week to week, so hopefully this is not one of the outrageously difficult ones. We'll see. I haven't done one on the channel for a while, so my apologies. But without further ado, I think I might just jump into it and see how I go. I think I'm going to look for the low-hanging fruit to start with, so just kind of pass the clues fairly quickly to see if anything jumps out instinctively. And then once I've got a few of those hopefully in place, the letters that I get from them will help me to tackle some of the more difficult ones. So let's see how we go. I think everyone can see everything. The microphone is accurately recording my voice. So 1 and 14 down, 439. Choice covers rent, disbarment, or hellish torments. So 16 letters, and we have 16 letters there. Disbarment could be an anagram indicator for those. Hellish torments would be therefore the definition if that's the case. Wonder what this three-letter word in the middle is. It could be the, can't be and or off. If it was the, hellish torments. Seems strange that hellish torments would have a the in the middle. So that's not feeling like a low-hanging fruit, so let's just come across here. Dockers casually hoisted some craft at intervals. Dockers is an Australian football team as well. Some craft at intervals looks like every second letter of this, but then there's a bunch of other stuff going on. Hoisted suggests turning something upside down. I think Dockers casually then perhaps is the definition, and we're taking every second letter of some craft but going backwards, so TACMFR. Oh yeah, there we go. So this is Frio. I couldn't have told you off the top of my head who the Dockers were, so that's why I didn't go straight there. But Fremantle Dockers is the football team, casually known as Frio, and that is FREO, so every second letter, so at intervals of some craft, being hoisted going backwards. So that gives us an F for 1 across, but I'll come back to that. 9 across. Yank in UK, maybe down around 10 pence. Yank, starting with an E. Feels like that would be the definition, or yank in UK. No question mark, which is a bit surprising. It feels like there's something a bit funny going on with this down around 10 pence. A question mark might then be used just to suggest it's a bit weird, but it's not, so maybe it's not. Not immediately noticing what that is. 2 down. Censure each retro top. this might be, start with PER or FOR for the word each. Retro top. Is that a word for top going backwards, or is it the top letter of retro? The whole thing means censure. Or it could just be EA for each. I feel like I should be able to think of a word for censure. Not quite getting that. The F there seems unlikely, double F, but it could be 3 down. Revered platform edit, say. Platform could be X. That's a gift that Elon Musk has given to the world, a cryptic play of platform of similar words representing the letter X. It seems unlikely that it would start with an X. Something to do with X told. But it's only 5 letters. Because X for platform and oh no, sorry. I thought it was told as in said, but that's not. But edit. But surely it's X something. It's if it was revere or then you could have exalt or extol, I guess. No, not extol, but exalt. But so to edit, and the whole thing means revered. Wow. Not sure. So 11 across. Feeling the fatigue and the frustration right now. Lockdown mania to go off money twice, 14 letters. Lockdown mania to go off money twice. So lockdown, I guess, is the definition. Isolation. That's 10 letters. Isolate is 7. So no, 4 down. Ambassador wantonly told PM a naked fib. Ambassador wantonly told PM. Yeah, so this is diplomat. So we have told PM wantonly, which is told PM rearranged, and then well, in fact, I think it's told PM and the letter A and a naked fib, which is the fib without its outside letters giving the I. So all of those letters, I, A, told PM, being anagrammed. I'll quickly have a look at Y cross again. Choice covers rent, disbarment. Now, I should be careful because I was assuming this was an anagram, but it may not be. Or hellish torments. But, and potential END. There's no D in the anagram. That's definitely a D though. So in fact, this is not an anagram. That's good to know. So maybe fire and brimstone or something. I think it is fire and brimstone. Which means this is not X either. So 14 down. brimstone. So it looks like, oops, that fits at least. So let's see if it passes. Choice covers, so rent, disbarment, or hellish. So what's our choice here? First one. Covers rent, disbarment. We've got brim, or rim rather. It almost looks like an anagram, but gosh, the energy to pass this. If I had it on pen and paper, it'd be a bit easier as well to see it all in one run. I'll come back to passing at the end. I think that's correct. So let's not worry too much about that until the end. Censure each retro top. Each retro could be each going backwards. So either for going backwards, which is unlikely, or per going backwards, more likely. And then top. So, and the whole thing means censure. Yeah, I mean, I think that's easy, and I just can't see the word. Yank in UK maybe around 10 pence. So it is. I see. So 10 pence is going to be XP, I think, and then yank is expat, right? I think so. A yank in the UK would be an expat, and then you've got maybe down. So down. To down is to eat. If you down something, you eat it. So eat going around XP being 10 pence. Okay, so we are getting some progress in this top corner, despite a bit of clumsiness from me. Revered platform, edit, say. Revered platform would be an alter. Which is to alter, ALTER, which is edit, and we're saying that out loud and spelling it in an alternative way. Okay, so yeah, surprisingly good outcome really to get the top corner more or less done. Let's try this P here, turn across. Victoria once refined zip. Interesting. Might be, I was going to say it might be something state, as in it could have been the way that Victoria, the state, used to be referred to, but I'm not sure if that is it. So let's continue. B and A, I think fire and brimstone's more or less confirmed. 13, Hitchcock's classic film content reflected offbeat frenzy with no end of grief. That's a hell of a clue. Hitchcock's classic film, or classic, probably the definition. Don't really know my Hitchcock films. Film content could be IL, the content letters of film, reflected, going backwards, so LI. Still don't see that title. Offbeat frenzy with no end of grief. Yeah, so an anagram of offbeat, so that is being put into a frenzy, but we're going to take away the end letter of grief, the F, so we get rid of one of those Fs. So we get OFBEAT, so lifeboat. So in the end, what looked like a difficult clue turned out to be not too hard. F on the end of that sensual word. I still can't see it. And it is a P and an R, isn't it? So, well, likely an R for fire and brimstone. Reproof. Is that a word? Reproof? Oh, it is. Yeah. So roof is top. So rep is per backwards, each going retro, and then roof for top. So reproof. I don't know that I knew that was a word. I think maybe reprove is a word I would have thought of. Maybe I've been saying that wrong all these years. Not that I have many occasions to reproof or reprove anyone. 12 down. Enigma about green light bathing dance bands oily faces. Once again, a long convoluted clue. Enigma about green light, might be go, bathing dance, bands oily faces. Well, faces can be an indicator word for the face letters of words, but I was inclined to think that we were going to find the end of this would be the definition, and that enigma, we have a word like ghost or something going around green light, but I don't know what bathing dance. I don't know what that's doing at all. Light bathing, green light bathing, bathing. Don't know what that word is doing. So that's not a low-hanging fruit. 17 across. Simple deposits in retirement I'd endorsed. This well, it has the feel of a hidden, but I'm not sure that it is. Simple in road I'd endorsed. Well, I'd could be the ID at the end. Simple deposits in retirement, and then endorsed would be the definition. And I'm assuming this is an I for brimstone. In retirement, I'd endorsed. Yeah, it feels to me like a hidden because of the word endorsed. I feel like that's saying that the answer in here, meaning simple deposits. Don't know. 22. Get Smart cast is stormed by crowd. So that's 14 letters, and we've got 14 letters there. So all those 14 letters are being stormed, anagrammed, to give a crowd. Ending in an S for the first word. A crowd or to crowd. Second word, at, as. You got the word amass in there, I think. AMASS. I'm sure there's an anagram. Not seeing what it is. 21 down. Baby pair of maths terms. Feels kind of like a double definition, a word for baby and a word for pair of math terms. Or no, know, maybe just baby being the definition, and then two maths terms that we're putting together, like, you know, plus and times or whatever. Baby. Oh, actually, well, a baby would be a tot. That often comes up, and that has a mathematical feeling about it. Oops. Pair of maths terms. So pair. Maths terms. I mean, totals comes to mind, but I'm not sure why ALS is a pair. Well, baby pair could be two babies, so like tots. Or like things like tan and sine and cos. It's annoying. 27. Old Premier. I'm just going to put in Kennett. Understanding total, yeah, after deduction. So understanding is Ken. Total is net, N-E-T. Understanding total after deductions. Oh, is N-E-T-T. Does that mean total after deductions? I thought it was just N-E-T. Understanding Ken, total, net. Oh. Yeah, I think it must be just N-E-T-T. So that was an easy get. And Jeff Kennett being the old Premier of Victoria. Apologies to those who are not from Victoria or Australia. 12 down. I was thinking enigma ending in a K. Maybe something to do with dark. Yeah, that K I was hoping would be useful. There's no K in the clue. Enigma ending in a K. Potentially. Well, either the definition is an enigma, in which case the whole thing does end in a K, or enigma is a part of the clue which is surrounding something else, so that would likely still be the K at the end. Don't know. 18 down. You texted groom, left alone at buffet. Well, you texted is often just going to be you. Groom left alone at buffet. So quickly, I looked at 17 already, so just not wondering about you there. I guess a word for groom. Leaving out a word for alone, or a word for groom being taken out of a word for alone. It's a bit convoluted. And buffet being the final definition, probably, which we can't see. 25. Contains more in classic dunnies. Okay. Hmm. No, I'm not feeling that's low hanging. 21. That was the baby pair of math terms. Maybe that's tot. Maybe it's just tot. Is that a is that a baby? Because tot is a maths term in the sense of total. Don't like that. I've never heard tot, and the wordplay does feel a bit odd as well. 22 was the get smart one. Okay, let's come across 5 down. Tries purchasing marrow with pudding. 312. Two has a go for tries. Yeah, and we've got sorry, HA is the marrow of purchasing, and then Sago is the pudding. Okay, that's nice. That was an easy one. Flogging physicist. Hawking. To hawk is to sell or to flog, and a physicist is hawking. And it gives us some good starting letters. 6 down and 28 across. Conductors first to join tram boss who had a new 6-pack. 9-7. I wonder if that's an actual conductor, a person. So first, well, maybe not. Conductors first could be the C, joining tram boss who had a new 6-pack. Actually, maybe a 6-pack, because if we have that there, that's 8, 14, that's 15 letters. We need 16. So if we take the C, the first letter of conductor, and we join that with all of this, put it in a new arrangement, and we get a word for 6-pack. Now, is this some sort of like slang term for a muscular 6-pack, or which I may not know? No question mark. Joints with 28 across, which we don't know anything about, so I'm pretty sure that's going to be the wordplay, but I can't see what it is. There's the W, and that's the only one, so and the C as well, of course. Watch. No, not sure, but I think that might become clear as we get some more letters. 7 down. A selection of medicines soothe cold. Well, we've got an A literally in the clue, which is usually indicative of an A in the actual answer, but it's not at the start. Maybe it's actually indeed, iciness. So a selection of these letters gives us literally spelt out their iciness. So that's called a hidden clue, and that means cold. 8 down. Glutton failing to make feasts during matches, not initially. So probably glutton is the definition, because we're going to take some word from matches without its initial letter, so that's all wordplay by the look of it. Matches could be game. names, although I'm saying that, seeing the G, but of course we'd be taking the initial letter off. But anyway, if we go from definition point of view, a 10-letter word for a glutton starting with a G, I'm not sure if this has enough letters or if it's actually strictly means glutton. Failing to make feasts during matches, not initially. So if it wasn't a word for matches without its initial letter, the second letter of the word would be a G. Match has lots of meanings. Don't really know what a lot of the other stuff's doing there. 10 across I think I looked at. I've got some letters. Victoria once refined zip. Well, past could be once. Refined could be posh. Ah, there we go. I think it might be this. I'm not sure why zip and spice, but Victoria was the posh spice, I'm pretty sure. Posh is refined. Zip, spice. Maybe like zip has that meaning, like if something has spice and flavour, it has zip. I'm not sure, but I feel like that's probably right. 11 across, lockdown mania, so 9-5 to go off money twice. No, I can't see that. I suspect lockdown is the definition. To go off. Oh, to go off could be rot. And then money twice. Two types of money. This could be cent. C-E-N-T. What would this word be relating to lockdown? Could also be some shenanigans where lock is the definition. So go off as well, which could be an anagram of go in the middle somehow, as in a reversal of go. Yeah, it's not nice when you can't get the first letter. 15. Rules covering bush poet. This is Lawson, I think. Rules are laws. Covering means about or on. So a document covering such and such a topic is on such and such a topic. And Lawson is the famous Australian poet. I think my dad's favourite, and he can recite many of Lawson's poems from heart. 19. Bloke shortly ducks out of country. So presumably this is a country. Might start with man. And shortly ducks out. So shortly, yeah, okay. So shortly I think is going to be soon, and ducks out is going to give us, take out the O's. That gives SN. That's not a great combination. unless that's at the beginning and the whole thing means man, bloke. Not sure about that. 20 down might be helpful for that one. The guts to declare CSI Vegas stuffed up. Okay. Could be courage. There's quite a few of the letters that we would need, but to declare homophone indicator CSI Vegas stuffed up. Grief. Or is it maybe it's a also hidden. Yes, so this is literal guts. Viscera, so going backwards, VISCERA, so that word is stuffed inside of here, going upwards, and it means the guts. So a bit of misdirection there, because declare would quite often be a homophone indicator. Now that gives us V here, which was the country or the bloke. So it's not, it's going to end in SN. If it started with SN and meant bloke, not seeing that. If it is a country starting like this, is it Moldova? Of country. So actually it's probably sorry, not Moldova, Maldo. Is that what I'm thinking? Moldova? So okay, so bloke shortly could be male without its last letter. Ducks out of country. Ducks out. Not sure about that. It feels so likely to be that. So I'm misremembering the name of that country, but of Moldova would be Moldovan, I think, but I don't know where ducks out. Unless, no. Let's have a look. This, I think this 6 down, I feel like I remember it being potentially, oh no, it was the 6 pack, okay. Oh yeah, of course, this is washboard. That was, I was trying to think of earlier. So that confirms the D. Washboard stomach, I guess. Looks like we have all those letters, so that's going to be right. Probably confirms Moldovan, or maybe it's Maldivan. Don't know how that helps. Divan. The ducks out. Not sure. I'll have to Google that later, I think. But I think it's something along those lines. 24 down. Discovered metalhead foremost creep. So metalhead foremost creep. So I think this is inch. So to creep is to inch. The foremost letter of head is H. discovered metal is zinc without its first letter. It's being discovered, uncovered, meaning we get ink, and then head foremost is H. Very good. So, and we've got a 5-letter one ending in O here, so that could make it easy or hard depending. Write for publisher to abridge cleric. For publisher to abridge cleric. Feels like we're abridging a word, we're making a word shorter, probably. Well, I'm not sure actually. I suspect the cleric would be the definition because it ends in an O, and it's more likely that would be the case than a word for right ending in O. Could be though. So then we'd be abridging the publisher. We'd have probably R for right, and then an abridged publisher, and the whole thing means a cleric. Rabbi came to mind, but this is definitely stomach, I think. Washboard. What was that? 6 down. Conductors first to join. Yeah, it's got to be stomach, doesn't it? So what's our cleric? And who's our publisher? Oxford comes to mind as a publisher. Just because of the O, but that's not working. Let's imagine, well, let's just have a look at this and see if this helps us. Cut crest on trim scrub. Cut crest on trim is probably the top letter. I'm just going to get rid of this. The crest of trim, which is a T, and then scrub, and the whole thing means cut. Ooh, I was going to say tween. I feel like there's a verb to tween, which is to. There's definitely a concept of tweening, I think, in. I've come across it in the way that scrolling works on interfaces. But scrub. Where is wean scrub? I'm confident merely in the T. Cut. Crest on trim, T, scrub. I don't think tween means cut anyway, even if it is a word. And actually, scrub could well be the definition. We have it could be a type of plant actually, being scrub. 16, did I look at this? No, seethe from garage making some odd calls for riot gear. AS. Garage making some odd calls for riot gear. Gas masks, I think. Oops. Now, how does that work? To seethe. I guess maybe to gas is to seethe. From garage, making some odd calls for, well, okay, so calls for could be asks. Oh, and then we've got, wow. Some odd is S and M. the odd letters of some. So then we got gas for seethe from garage. Don't know what's going on there. So to rage might be to see that we take that out of garage, we get GA, which is therefore the first two letters. Oh yeah, and then S and M. So it was just the GA we needed. Okay, and so it is just taking rage out of garage. Wow. Okay, so let's look at 22. Oh, that was the multi-word one. Get smart. We've now got a 7-letter word starting here. By crowd. Stalled by crowd. So S, M, and S. S, M, and S. So definitely the anagram font is there for that. This letter here, since it can no longer, there's a further S to come, so it could be an S, or otherwise it's going to be a vowel. I feel like it's more likely to be a vowel. Crowd. Annoying, because I think I'm now down to clues that I've looked at. Actually, this one, 11, it's not going to help me out much down the bottom, but I do have an extra letter now in the second word, starting with B. So lockdown means you got money twice. Lockdown. Checking the time. Mania. Mania could be a fad, but that's not fitting in anywhere in there. To go off money twice. That can't be sent anymore. Yen doesn't work. Sorry about this. This letter here has only so many candidates. Vowel-wise, it's unlikely to be anything but an E, I think. And otherwise, L, R, I think are the only candidates for consonants, or Y potentially. But if it's an L, blend comes to mind. Money has to do with lending, but I don't think that's... I'm not sure where blend would come in as part of the definition. If not blend, then bleak or bleat. And an R. Oh, what about break? let's just check this K because that would be a strong indication. Glutton failing to make feasts during matches, not initially. I can just look at this now with the two N's. Maybe it's ing or ANT, something like that. Something to do with greed, obviously. Well, I was going to say greed. Maybe that's not an N, actually. Yeah. I just want to check this. Does this greediness? Indeed. So let's get rid of this for a second. Maldives, right. So glutton, a failing of a glutton is their greediness. So to make feast during matches, not initially. So agrees, GREES without the A, and then inside of that we have dines, which is make feasts. I did think of matches in the sense of things being in accord with each other, but didn't think of the word agrees. So that is that. So this, if it is an R, it would probably be then bread or breed. Maybe it is bread. Yeah. Okay, that's hard as a definition. That is sourdough bread, a mania that took hold during the lockdowns. So to go off is to sour, money is dough, and bread is also money as well. So that's a nice wordplay. So that's good. Now Maldives was male. Where is it? 19. Shortly, bloke shortly is Mal, and then ducks out is is dives. I guess if you duck out, you dive. Is that right? No. Or maybe in the sense of, I'm not sure. Like maybe in cricket, if you duck out, you said sort of dived. I don't know. But country is Maldives, obviously, so that will be right. And as I said, although it's good to get those ones at the top, they do not help the bottom. And I do need to pause for a second, so I'll be back in a minute. All right, so where was I? Oh yes, so I'm going to give myself maybe 10 minutes more, and then if I'm not finished, I'll probably come back to this later. I'm going to take care of a few other bits and pieces, but let's see if that time pressure helps or hinders. Let's quickly look at 18. I don't remember what this was. You texted groom left alone at buffet. Well, maybe buffet. Is that spelt the same way, the verb to buffet? In which case, well, let's also check that U for 17 across. I never really looked at that closely. Simple deposits in retirement. I'd endorsed. Oh, well, what about stupid for simple? Deposits is puts in retirement, going backwards, and then I'd endorse is just saying I'd goes along next to it. So that is a U. Nice. 12 down. 6-4. Enigma. About green light bathing. Bans oily faces. Feeling like some word like glossy or flossy or glassy. What's the K doing though? And I don't understand at all what bathing is doing in the clue. Green light would be potentially go, but where's that going to be actually going? Green light could be yes. Or okay. Actually, yeah, green light is probably okay. Although that puts it at the end, which is interesting because it's nowhere near the end of the clue. Closed book. An enigma is a closed book. About could be a reversal indicator. Green light. Okay. Bathing, dance, bands, or what is going on here? Dance band oily faces, DBO. Okay, so we've got DBO. Now we need close and okay. Okay, so dance band, well, it still doesn't explain bathing. About is close. Okay. Right, and green light is okay, and bathing is an inclusion indicator. So close and okay are bathing, DBO, or bathing, whatever. That's a rather obscure indicator word, but we'll take it. 22. I might actually manage to do this because it feels like there's some serious dominoes falling here. 22. Get Smart Cast is stolen by crowd. So we don't have an anagram because there's no D. That's very surprising. Wow, maybe it's yeah, okay. That is 9 letters. We need another 5. I think it might be an anagram of this bit. That's being cast. And then we're putting a word for crowd alongside. Anyway, so let's think about this properly. So to get smart would therefore be the definition. Damn. First words a bit curious to me. Dress up something, maybe. Doesn't seem to fit my idea of the particular anagram photo, but to dress up is to get smart. No, I think that's it. Okay, let's come back to it. 25 contains more in classic dunnies. I was thinking an over word before. Out houses. So classic dunnies contains more. Well, that has to be the answer. Surely for classic dunnies, but it contains more. Ah, wow. Okay, so if you house something, then you contain it. If you out-house something, you, in the sense of outdoing something or outplaying, you're out-housing the other. Then you're containing more. Right. Tricky. 21. Baby pair of maths terms. Well, maybe this is cosset. Yeah, cos for cosine and set for the maths term, a set, and to cosset is to baby somebody, I think. Well, let's have a look at this 18. You texted groom left alone at buffet or buffet. You texted groom left alone at buffet. Buffet. I don't know what any of the words are doing here really, apart from the you. Okay, so I might have to focus on getting these. This really should be gettable. Get smart cast is stormed by crowd. Get smart. Dress. Oh well, it's not up, so that's good. But it could be. The anagram does have RESS in it. For some reason, I didn't think it did, but DRESS. Yeah. So dress. Dress to impress. Okay, cool. And to crowd is to press at the end. So the anagram of is stormed plus the word press for crowd. Okay. I'll come back to that one. That is an R here. So write for publisher to abridge cleric. Is there... maybe... indeed. I thought of this word just a second ago as I was coming back to it, and was going to say... The word came to mind, but I thought, well, it can't have anything to do with this cleric. It's like a publishing term. No, then I realised it is a publishing clue. So recto is a word used in publishing for the right-hand side page of a pair of pages. I forget what the left is called. In any case, recto is the right for a publisher, and the cleric is a rector with an R on the end. We're going to abridge that to give us the recto. Nice. Now clean, which is a more straightforward word for scrub. Cut crest is the first letter of cut, giving the C, and then trim is lean, and clean is sorry. So we are on the verge now, in I think about an hour. But can I get my final Buffett business? Just going through letters now. A word does not stand out to me that fits this. But well, I guess maybe uneaten. Good grief! What a definition element that is. Left alone at buffet is uneaten. You text is you, and to groom is to neaten. Excuse that noise, one sec. Wow, okay, well, I'm glad that I stuck at that. That was, at times, especially at the beginning, I was kind of feeling, I don't know if I'm going to make it today. But in the end, a pretty manageable solve as far as DAs go. There was a clue at the outset that I was quite confused by the passing of. It might have been fire. Yeah, it was fire and brimstone. What was going on with that? Not across. Because it wasn't an anagram. Well, perhaps it is. So maybe rent. is an anagram indicator for disbarment, or, because I think we've got a lot of the words we need in there. Fire and brimstone, so BRIMSTONE. And that we would need, see, choice covers. So that's going to be, I guess, so where's this? 14 down. Let's see the word. Maybe it is first for choice. F-I-R. Oh no, fine. F-I-N-E is choice, meaning good quality, and that is covering the anagram of disbarment, or, which is R-E-A-N-D, brimstone. So I think that explains pretty much everything. I wasn't quite sure about this diving business. There's some very curly definitions there. The sourdough bread was a great one. Victoria once, posh spice, outhouses. I think that's probably a bit more of a stretch than I think is legitimate. And the one I just did at the end there, uneaten, left alone at. I mean, that is a great definition element. I think in terms of people who are trying to write their own crosswords, sometimes, you know, there's a real art in disguising definition elements, and that's a great example. You don't really. I can imagine some people coming to this and seeing quite quickly, oh yeah, I think this is going to be treated as an entire. These four words will be the definition. But there is a certain kind of element of misdirection in the fact that left can often be indicating L. It can also indicate leaving letters out. Yeah, but lovely stuff. That's a great crossword. There'll be probably one or two clues in there that I might put in the running for the golden waffle, which is still a work in progress, but there's lots of clues I've got to consider for that. Probably a collection of 15 or so from the last kind of month or so that I need to maybe whittle down to a list of 5 or 6 to present as the finalists. So watch this space for that. Thank you so much for being with me. If you've gotten this far and you're not a subscriber, then do subscribe. I'd love to have you on board, and make sure that YouTube knows that crossword content is something to push out there to the world. Thanks again, and I will see you all again soon.